Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Hit.OR.DIE podcast. Here with Chad Rothford. What's up, buddy?
What's up?
Hey, first things first, congratulations on your master's degree.
Appreciate it.
That was quite the year, man.
It's been a rough year, busy year to say the least, and
rough in a good way though. A lot of good things.
Yeah, I mean a lot of good things, but it's just going to work at 3 a.m. and coaching at college and recruiting, getting guys out,
being a
baby
dad
on the way.
Yeah,
already a family of 4, and then a baby on the way. It's just it was a rough year, and I'm happy to have passed. I still have 2 weeks left in my last class, but I graduated on last Friday. So, yeah, it felt good to hear my name called. I didn't get to do that at Oral Roberts, so I just got my diploma in the mail. So, getting my master's degree was a big, step, and hopefully the next chapter of my coaching career.
Yeah, man. It seems like and maybe not for you, but it feels like it went by fast. Is that correct? Am I wrong?
Yes, you are. You are wrong. I mean, I guess when I look back on it, I might think it went by fast, but 2 classes, 7 weeks with a week break in between. It didn't seem like I had one break where I did get the Christmas vacation off like a normal school. I got the 2 weeks off. But I remember telling you I wish I didn't, because I felt like I was in a groove, like just going and having the 1 week off in between. I think having those two weeks off, I had to get back in it, because the spring semester was actually my toughest semester, which kind of sucked because that was my busiest time of the year with baseball going on and stuff like that. So one of my best friends from high school, Travis Anderson, was actually in the program with me. He's the new Golden West head football coach. Look out for them. They got big things going on there. But he did the class with me, and he graduated as well. So it was nice to have somebody that you can call and be like, hey, is this teacher really, slappy, that that kind of thing, or but no, it was just good to have support, not only from you and my family, but one of my best friends in the class with me. It helped out a lot. So
yeah, for sure, man. No, and I saw the Golden West, that league just did like a media day for their high school football conference, which was pretty cool. You don't see that often or at all.
Yeah, they just did. This was the first year they did it. He told me, I think the Redwood coach set it up, or the athletic director. So they had a good media day. He said it went well. And he's looking forward to, a new era, he calls it, at Golden West. He's got big things coming. His dinner is this weekend. Nikki and I and my parents are going to be in town, so they're going to go. So I'm looking forward to going and, supporting him and the program. And I think he's got something for us at Hit.OR.DIE that I might be able to bring on, but I'll find out for sure. I'll know more this weekend. But
cool. We're always open to stuff. For those wondering why we're Zoom calling, my household has a little bit of COVID going around, and you guys have some things, a birthday party going this weekend as well, and just trying not to get anybody sick. So this is the safest way to do it. It went pretty long there without kind of forgetting about COVID, really. But no, a couple of my family.
I am COVID, so
well, yeah, you guys got hit pretty hard with it. But no, good. Congrats on the Masters, dude. That's freaking awesome. I'm sure you get asked constantly about what's going on at Fresno City, that job. No news. I'll go ahead and say it for you. It's not even set up for interviews yet. When that stuff comes, we'll definitely let the people know what we know. But just so you don't have to say it all the time, or people ask you, I'm sure, all the time.
Yeah.
No news as of yet. So I'm assuming it closing last week. It'll start moving here pretty fast, hopefully. The other thing before we get into it, listen, we won't go too long today, but it's trade deadlines today. It was officially up about an hour ago. Some moves made in Major League Baseball. There's something we saw locally as far as Maxprep is concerned that we'll get into. And but first, have you been watching The Captain?
Yes, I watched all 4 episodes.
And so far, thoughts?
It I'm it might be better than The Last Dance.
Really? You think so?
And I'm not even a Jeter guy. You know that. I was never a Jeter guy.
Not like a fan of Jeter.
Yeah, like I like Jeter, like he's good for the game of baseball, but I wouldn't pick Jeter to be on my starting lineup or you know what I mean? Like he wasn't I didn't consider him one of the top players, which I'm probably dumb for doing, but like I just wasn't a Jeter fan. It might be the whole Yankee thing and him being a Yankee and all that. But like I've grown so much respect for him even after he retired when he was part of the Marlins organization. But watching this, like I can't wait for the next one. And I was actually fortunate if I started late. So I had all 4 episodes recorded at once. So I watched all 4 of them within 2 days. And I mean, The Last Dance was great. I love Michael Jordan, consider him one of the best athletes of all time. That was great. But I think because this is baseball and to see the ins and outs of his career and how it started and like how many people knew that he was a Yankee fan living in Kalamazoo, Michigan? How many people knew he was from Kalamazoo, Michigan? I was fortunate enough. I played in Kalamazoo, Michigan, 1 year in independent ball, and it's absolutely a shitbox. It's literally one of a small town, Western Michigan is there, which that's a great college and everything, but there's nothing really to do there. And for somebody like him to come out of there and not only be like the high school player of the year, which how many people knew that too, and to go 6th overall when he was like, it just how everything works. Like it's just crazy. Like to be the top high school player in the country and then be the first one taken, but he was supposed to go 1 through 5, and all 5 of those teams didn't get him, and then 6 had to be the Yankee. Like you know what I mean? Like
It's
I
kind
think
of like
that's what gets it. It's like a Cinderella story of everything happened for a reason, or it was meant to go that way.
Yeah, it was meant to be for sure. It's kind of like some of the same stories you hear today with like, oh, they're saying I'm gonna go here, I might go there, and then when it doesn't happen, like that still happens today. Oh yeah, they're saying we might go third through 5 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I love they spent a little time early like on his struggle though. And
yeah, in minors.
yeah, and like nearly being done, like just saying, screw it, I'm going home.
Yeah, and I mean,
And
I had that.
I was gonna say, I'm sure there's guys that even weren't big leaguers that had that experience or those thoughts or moments or times, in spring training or whatever, like getting your ass kicked or just not feeling good enough to just want to be done.
Yeah, I mean, imagine a kid that's 17, 18 years old, never been away from home, played in Kalamazoo, Michigan, where I bet the competition wasn't the highest of caliber, and then you're getting drafted by your dream team, so that's kind of like a plus. But then you go straight. They sent him straight to New York, and he was taking ground balls in New York with the big league guys and stuff. And then his first year of spring training, you're the first pick of that draft. They expect high things out of you, and now you're seeing competition that you've never seen before, and the talent level. And as a 17, 18-year-old kid, that's a lot. And you're away from home. Your parents aren't there taking care of you and doing whatever they needed to do. And I mean, they praised his parents throughout the whole thing, which is great because they definitely prepared him for that, for being not only a New York Yankee in the media and living that lifestyle, but how tough he was. his mindset of game to game and moving on, and just that's tough to do. I mean, I dealt with that when I went to Oral Roberts. It was my first time gone, and I started out. I think he started out 0 for 31. I started out 0 for like 20 or something like that. And yeah, dude, you have that mindset of like, I thought I was really good, but like, I want to go. Yeah, you get humbled, and I just want to go home. And but that's not always the answer. Sometimes the answer is digging deep and seeing what you're made of, and realizing, you know what, I am good. I can do this, and let's go out there and prove everybody wrong. And I mean, I think he had like 56 errors in his first season, which is just ridiculous. But
it's part of the path, though, right? I mean, I'm sure for the most part, there's a lot of guys that it's just not easy or an easy road all the way up.
No, I mean, there's not. I mean, that's why you see first rounders that never make it, and you see, guys back in the day that, when there was 50 plus rounds, the low rounds, guys that make it. And honestly, it comes down to how tough you are, because if you get drafted and you get to professional baseball, you're obviously a pretty good baseball player, right? You wouldn't be in that situation if you weren't good. They're not going to draft somebody or give somebody money if you're not a good baseball player or know how to play the game. So when you get to professional baseball, it really just comes down to how tough are you? How are you willing to deal with failure? Can you move on at bat to at bat, pitch to pitch, grind it out, live in a terrible hotel and get paid crap money, eat fast food, do workouts on your own. I mean, that's what it comes down to, is how tough is the kid or the player to make it through there, and there's guys that just aren't tough enough. You have all the talent in the world, but you're just not tough enough and can't handle that lifestyle. And then there's guys that are just sometimes they're not even the better player, but they're just so tough and willing to grind it out that they make it.
That's interesting. Sometimes
I've seen both.
It's not even your talent that gets you out of the game, right? Like, yeah, it's pretty crazy to think about that. There is, and I hope we're not spoiling it. If you haven't seen it, it's been out for about 3 weeks. So I've given you
4 weeks.
It's 4 weeks. Yeah. We've given you some time. It was a nice all-star game. It's only been a couple, like 3 weeks, something like that.
Yeah, I think they did 2 episodes on 1 week or something.
Yeah, the last 2 they did that. But still, it's a couple weeks. It's enough time. The element of
I honestly suggest this. Every baseball coach needs to watch it with their baseball program, whether it be in your PE class or at practice or after practice. It is something that needs to be seen by this generation of baseball players, because what he says and the messages he has and how he played the game and how he looked at, winning, right? That was his main focus. He wanted to win. He didn't care about his stats. He didn't, that will average itself out or work itself out. He wanted to win. So when he was compared to the best shortstops in the game, and sometimes people said he wasn't even the best, he has the perfect answer. We won. He had 4 rings in 5 years, or something like that. It was ridiculous. Or 6 years. So it's like, and some of the sayings he has in there is just like, when Nomar says they're better but lost, right? And the Jeter's just like, losers say that. It's like, Nomar's going to see it. He was just interviewed, and he's just saying, losers say that.
Like, losers is in like because they didn't win.
Make up excuses.
Right. They're making an excuse to why. Right.
And I'm just like, oh my God, he really said that. And it's like, but it's true. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I just love how Derek Jeter, like, kept everything close, like a circle. And like, he trusted very little people. And I don't know. I can't wait for episode 5. Like, I have them recorded, and I'll probably end up watching them again. And if I'm a coach somewhere someday, I'm definitely going to have that as our team's going to watch it, and not only watch it, we're going to freaking talk about it. And because his mindset, dude, is just, it's unbelievable.
There's the stuff with A-Rod, and I know you referred to that a little bit.
And I'm a big A-Rod fan.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, they show the early, both as rookies, kind of good. Do they ever look like real friendly?
Kids? No.
well, that
Well, I
for
mean,
sure, but like,
they were grown ass men.
they were, but like, were they playing up the friendship early on? Because it turned into beef fairly quick.
I think okay, so I think like watching it since I kind of just came off watching it a couple days ago or whatever. I think they had that interview when they're in Tropicana, right? And they're like joking around and when they're like young kids. And I don't even know if they were in the big leagues yet. Um, it seemed like they were friends. It seemed like they, I mean, Derek even said they trained together in the off seasons and stuff like that. So I just think one guy was jealous of somebody getting recognized more, and he kind of took it differently than he should have, and that's probably what tore their friendship apart. And if you haven't seen it, Derek Jeter just if you burn me once, you're done. Like he's just done with you. And I think that just happened when he was in an interview and said what stuff he probably shouldn't have said. Especially when you are being recognized as at that time, A-Rod was the best shortstop. There's no argument, but Derek Jeter won, and winners get hated on. Winners get hated on no matter what. And but I don't know.
It was like he wasn't getting his fair due, like his fair amount of love. And he gets paid. He
gets paid, and like Jeter said, is like you just won a Gold Glove and the MVP. Why would you go somewhere to be a third base? You know what I mean? Like that's just his first thought was like, that kind of thing. So
it is an interesting dynamic of where it gets to. I'm excited to see the rest of it play out. I think that finished off going into that 04 season.
Yeah, they were getting ready to go
in the ALCS.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's been great. I like Chad said, definitely watch it if you haven't. I think it's a great idea to get your team involved, get some players or whatever, your kids, to check it out. Speaking of draft too, real quick, I think all the high school kids in our area in the central section of California here signed.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was 3. There was a couple out of college, but the high school kids that did get drafted all signed. So congrats to those guys. Good luck to them going forward. The deadline, right? That's been the big news the last 2 weeks. Everybody's been talking about Juan Soto. Where's Juan Soto going? And as of today, give me the final details. I was on the road when you were talking about, obviously he's going to be a Padre, which I said.
Yeah, you said.
And what's the final though? Because I heard Hosmer had a no trade clause.
And so Hosmer said no. So it was Josh Bell and Soto to the Padres for Hosmer and some pretty good prospects, like their top pitching prospect, or Mackenzie Gore. I think he was actually up in the big leagues.
Abrams too, right?
Yeah, and Hosmer said no. So they threw in vote for it. Vote went to the Nationals. And then obviously, I mean, you told a guy you're trading him, you can't really keep him after he says no, he doesn't. I mean, like you already have that thought of like, hey, Hosmer, we're going to trade you. So he ended up getting traded to Boston for some minor leagues and some money.
Some prospects.
Some prospects. Well, no money. I think the Padres ended up getting Brandon Drury from the Reds, which was a big get.
Agreed.
Because he's tearing up right now. He's got 20 homers, I think.
Yeah.
So the only problem with him is this was his first year that he got to like be a starter and like play, and he's actually done really well. So that was some of the talk was if he goes to the Padres, does he become just a platoon guy again? And like when he was a platoon guy, he did good, but just not as good. Like, do you get what you really get out of him as a starter? So I don't know what they're going to do with him there.
I like him though. I got his stats here. He's 274 so far, 20 bombs, 62 runs, 59 RBIs. Then you had HIT.OR.DIE also from Milwaukee.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Going to San Diego, and
they interviewed Williams, the
reliever
with stud reliever for Milwaukee. He wasn't. let's just say he said what he thought, and he wasn't too happy about it, especially there in first place.
Well, that's why I
in their
didn't get
division.
it.
And yeah, I don't. And just like he said, he's like, hey, he's the guy that comes in and it's pretty much a done deal most of the time. And to get rid of your main closer or the closer and possibly probably the best closer in the game, arguably, I guess you can say. A lot of those guys aren't happy in that clubhouse. But the Padres,
They did pick up 2 bullpen arms currently for the
but
Pod.
still, it's not.
I mean,
it's not Josh Hader.
I get it.
I mean, I could see, and that's where I kind of like I agree with Williams. Is like, yeah, I could see we're out of it. We might have a chance to get to the wild card. I don't know, but like we're in first place right now. Like,
right, you're not a seller.
Why? Yeah, why are we buying right now? Like, so I don't know. I mean, kudos to Padres for the moves they made. The Dodgers made a great move getting Joey Gallo. I think they wanted to bump up their strikeout numbers, so they got him in there. So,
what did the Yankees get? I was driving when we were talking. What was the?
I think they got a plus 200 on their sabermetrics. I think they got their sabermetric stats. They got boosted plus 200 points.
Yeah, that
I don't know. I
mean, everybody kind of was talking recently about like, yeah, he's gone. He's out of the pinstripes. So,
well, yeah, especially when they just brought in Benintendi. I mean, people saw it. You got Hicks, you got Carlo. Judge is arguably the MVP already, and yeah, bringing Benintendi. I mean, a lefty bat too, so you just see it coming. Gallo just needs to retire. He's just ruining it for all the power lefties that have ever come before him.
You really think that? I mean, you don't think there's some things that can get figured out, some adjustments that can be made?
Yeah, start hitting the ball the other way. Start driving the ball the other way. He should. If I was Joey Gallo's hitting coach, and I'm not, I'm not a guru, but if I was his hitting coach and we were one-on-one, I would not have him pull a ball the entire time in the cage or the entire time the rest of the season during batting practice or any cage work he does. I would not have him pull a ball because guess what? I know you can pull a baseball. I know you can hit the ball 500 feet, but can you do it the opposite field? And can you do it consistently? Can you hit line drives the other way? Because once you start working the other way and then you're early, you're going to start pulling balls in the right center gap instead of early pulling them foul or swing and misses. So, I mean, that's my only take. I mean, again, I'm not a guru. I'm not a big league hitting coach. I don't claim to be something I'm not. I do think I know hitting a little bit. And that is one thing that I would tell him. Be like, look, where's your weakness? If it's opposite field, then let's work on that. That's your weakness. If you can pull a ball and everybody's shifting you to pull a ball, let's work on your weaknesses. That's the only way you get better as a hitter and become a complete hitter.
Agreed. We'll see how it goes. I don't know where he's going to fit in Los Angeles.
I mean, DH every now and then. I don't know.
Yeah, you see the Red Sox trade away Vasquez to Houston.
How about that? He was in the hitters meetings going over. It was the hitters or pitching meeting going over the Astros because they're playing the Astros.
Right.
Going over the Astros hitters and how they're pitching to them. And then also going over the hitter stuff on how they're going to hit the Astros pitchers. And then an hour later, he's in the Astros dugout. Like, he's got all the information that they're going to do to us. So is the Astros cheating by picking him up while they're over there at the same time?
I mean, that who else went over there?
Trey Mancini.
Yeah, Mancini from Baltimore. Yeah. I see that.
And they got Odorizzi. Oh, no, Odorizzi went to Atlanta.
And then Atlanta also locked in Austin Riley for 10 years at what, $212 million. So good deal for them, dude. They're half that team. They're studs. I think they're under control there for the next like 5 seasons. Yeah. So the Braves are going anywhere anytime soon. The Philadelphia Phillies grab get Noah Syndergaard from the Angels.
What?
Yeah.
When did that happen?
I'm reading it now.
I missed that. I know they got David Robertson back.
David Robinson from the Cubs.
Yeah.
So, and then the Braves, yeah, acquired let's see a picture there.
Well, they got rid of Will Smith too.
The Royal second baseman Whit Merrifield traded to Toronto.
Yep, I saw
that. Again, some interesting stuff, man.
I mean, and all the good trades come at the end, anyways. I mean, this is a trade deadline, but that don't mean anything. We've seen trades afterwards, all the way into August, deep August, September. So
I want to know what the we've had some Cardinals fans on. You had Storm on recently, trading Harrison Bader to the Met or the Yankees in return for Jordan Montgomery.
Good pitcher.
Yeah, young guy though, in Bader.
What the Giants gave up Ruff, which nobody cares, and then
Trevor Rosenthal to the Brewers from the Giants.
I didn't even know Trevor Rosenthal was still playing.
Yeah, from San Francisco. He goes to the Brewers, and I think for a minor league.
He can be the closer.
So, when they brought in, they got Taylor Rogers, Nelson Lamet from San Diego. So it's not like Brewers didn't get anything. I agree with what you're saying, and I didn't see Williams' comments though. I mean, you are parting ways with probably the best closer in the game right now. He scuffled a little bit recently.
It happened. I mean, go back to the captain. Mariano Rivera lost the World Series for them. I mean, it happens. So,
what about so you talk about the Dodgers going to Gallo, and I've seen some posts today of Dodger fans kind of trying to diminish the power moves or the moves that the Padres made. Are they scared?
I would be.
Because I've seen a couple. One was the current standings with the Dodgers. I think 12 games up over the Padres in the division. But I mean, they're 2 games up in the wild card, so it's not like all's lost and there's no chance the Padres miss the playoffs. I know
they made great moves. They want to win. They want to win now. They want to get in the wild card. They want to catch the Dodgers in 12 games. I mean, what organization, you wouldn't think is like, oh yeah, we give up. I want to go out and get the best players that we can to make this team and franchise better. And I think the Padres did great in what they did, and the Dodgers should kind of be like, oh crap, we got to keep winning and doing our thing to keep the Padres, 12 games back. And if they get the wild card, hope somebody else knocks them out, because they're going to be tough down the road. And I think that the pitching needs to be a little better though for the Padres. You get all this offense, and yeah, you can score runs, but if you're giving up runs too, it's going to cancel itself out. So I think the pitching needs to be a little bit better. But I mean, anybody that gets stuff like that in their division, they're going to be like, oh, obviously they're doing it to beat us. So, and that's just true. That's facts. Dodgers are the best in the division, and all those teams should have been doing something to catch the Dodgers and beat the Dodgers. So, and you guys all know how much of a Dodger fan I am.
Yeah, I know you're definitely not a big Dodgers fan. But my response is there's still 2 months left to play.
Yeah,
there's still a lot of baseball left. You don't want to see guys get hurt, but I mean, things like that can happen still.
I mean, Tatis isn't even back yet.
It could be scary. Look, and I heard somebody talking, and I forget where I heard it. They were talking about Jacob deGrom, and then when tonight he comes back, right? He's pitching tonight. It's Tuesday. Like, it's almost like a trade deadline acquisition getting him back.
Mm-hmm.
Same for Tatis. At some point, he's going to be back. It's like, oh, we just picked up another piece. Granted, I don't know how it's going to work financially for the Padres down the road, but right now it's let's win now. That's their concern, is to win now. We'll cross those bridges when we get there. But I feel like if I'm the Dodgers, or fans, pump the brakes, right? Still 2 months to go. They made some fantastic moves. the Dodgers are without question the best team in the West. They're one of the top 2-3 teams in all of baseball, but a lot can happen. So pump the brakes. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Speaking of guys going, Yankees or Judge, the guy's been on an absolute tear. I think without question he's gonna. I don't see how he doesn't stay in New York.
As a baseball fan, not even if you hate the Yankees or not, you just can't see him in another uniform, especially the first contract. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy to think that this is going to be his first big contract too, you know, with how good he's done the last 5 years. It's just, I can't see him as anything else but a Yankee. I'm sure he doesn't want to be anything else but a Yankee. But they're going to have to pay.
They knew that going into the season. They were probably hoping that, I don't want to say they weren't hoping that he didn't have a good season, right? They want to win, but like he's more than exceeded expectations. To bet on yourself is like, it's impressive what he's done. I really hope he does knock some of these records down. It's good for baseball. I think the Yankees fans would lose their shit, by the way. Just saying.
Yeah, if he didn't come back and be a Yankee, yeah.
Now, again, if the money's a fair offer and he makes that decision not to, I mean, that's a different story. But just say I would be shocked to see him not a Yankee. Hey, before we so we're not going to do too long today, but you sent this to me, Chad, and I just thought it was interesting because our area here in California is historically known for its baseball, especially at the high school level, but up from JUCO even to D1s in our area. And you sent me a picture of something on Twitter, or was it? Yeah, I forget. It was you, yeah.
We got it from somebody before, and then I sent it to you.
Okay, but it was the top 25 high school baseball cities in the country per Maxpreps, and I'm assuming it's for this season.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's forever or this season or what, but
I didn't quite see what it had to say, but here's what it said. The article said, using the 2022 Maxprep's computer ratings, we compiled the top 10 teams from each major city and used the sum of the ratings for those 10 schools to determine the top 25 teams. Teams can only be from the city itself. Teams from suburbs were not factored in. And so San Diego was the number one team. So San Diego did not have any one great team, but rather a multitude of very good teams. In fact, 6 of the teams from the city had a computer rating of 20 or better. A rating of 20 or better plus would place a team in the top 500 in the country. So that's what they used to rate them. Number 1 was San Diego. Number 2 was Miami. 3 Tampa. 4 Chicago. 5 San Antonio. 6 Vegas. 7 Houston. Jacksonville was 8. Charlotte 9. 10 Bradenton, Florida. I'll post the rest of it. But Bakersfield was 22, and nowhere to be seen was our area, Clovis, Fresno. Again, traditionally, pretty good baseball area. When you saw that, what was your first thought? I have not asked you this yet for this reason. You can be honest.
Honestly,
does it surprise you or not? I mean, because not the fact, but I think in some, was it Maxpreps? It might have been Cal High. It might not have been Maxpreps. One high school was number 1 in the state for a hot minute in Buchanan. But again,
but does one team give it's the area?
Sure. I'm just asking questions, by the way. I'm not.
That's why I think Bakersfield's on there, is because their area as a whole, all their teams are they have equal teams. I think, like, we wouldn't have been surprised if Liberty won the title, or, you know, Stockdale's won it, but, you know, Centennial's always been good. Liberty, Frontier's been good. I mean, I just feel like, and in that area, you don't have guys jumping ship to go to one school to be good. Like they're consistently good, all those schools, and I just feel like Buchanan is Buchanan, man. They're just better than everybody here, and guys don't want to go to other Clovis schools and compete as a whole track. I mean, the track's good, but like, how good was the track really when we saw are they in the WYO? The Bakersfield schools?
Southwest Yosemite.
Southwest Yosemite as a whole is just better this year. And it's probably better in 2022 as well. So I wasn't surprised knowing that it's the 2022 cities, because I think as a whole, Bakersfield deserves to be there. I'm not sure as a whole the track is like it used to be.
Is it enough? It's not enough to carry the weight of
one team's not enough to carry the weight. No.
And I guess that's what they're
saying. You only had two Clovis schools in Division One playoffs. So I mean, that's even the two schools aren't big enough to carry the weight. You know, now if you had the track, everybody was equally as good, and you have, you know, in the top 8, I guess, since the stupid top 8 playoffs, and you have, you know, all of them in the 8 with a couple of the Bakersfield schools, then yeah, I think it would carry the weight to be one of the top 25 cities in the country. But I just don't think Buchanan can't carry the weight of 6 schools or 5 schools, however many Clovis schools there are.
Well, we're talking about 2022. It wasn't the best.
Yeah.
It just wasn't the best league. It wasn't a bad league. There wasn't. I guess that's where people get a little triggered, right? It is a good league.
Triggered, man. I don't care.
There was good play.
If I hurt your feelings, then, you know, it's whatever. I don't care. I'm not talking this. The players are good in this area, but Bakersfield's good, and they just haven't got a lot of credit because honestly, Bakersfield has the worst social media in the central. You know, I mean, let's be honest. Like their social media,
you don't see much.
Be a lot better.
No, yeah, I totally agree with that. Like,
all the Clovis schools have social media. They're on their players and travel ball. They're retweeting stuff and doing all that stuff. You don't see all that stuff with Bakersfield, you know. So it's hard to actually see all those, like what they could do if they had good social media down there. So that's just my thought.
Yeah, I again, I don't think it's for any reasons other than if we're going off 2022, you just look at what happened and the teams that made it through in that league and how good it was this year. It was just kind of their year, you know. It had happened. Yeah. But I don't think there's good players up and down this area, you know, Visalia, even further north. So I won't say I was shocked to not see it. When I saw it, I was like, oh, is this is like based on just like annually, like this is the way they think of the high schools, they see they'll rank them according to like history or tradition. And I was kind of like, oh, I don't know if I mean, not that Bakersfield's not good from year to year, but consistently when you look at the last 20 years, the central section's been pretty good.
Yeah.
So when I looked at it in that way, I felt like, well, there's no reason but it was 2022. That's what makes sense to me anyways. That's why you see Bakersfield in there.
Mm-hmm.
And it gives you something to go compete against, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, all those schools in SWIL are going to be good again next year. So
yeah, you just want to, again, it's something like, oh yeah, we're one of the best areas for high school baseball in the country. Yeah, I wouldn't mind having that tag.
And then if people want to get mad, I mean, look what the high school drafts were out of this year. Bakersfield.
Yeah.
I mean, Taft's not Bakersfield, but that's Bakersfield. Like,
southern, yeah, it's a southern part. It's down there, but I'm just saying.
But a lot of the Bakersfield kids, they go to Taft. Like, it's there, you know, it's in that.
Right.
It's like Buchanan and Central, like the distance. You know what I mean? It's maybe not that close, but like, you know what I mean? It's just, when you think of Taft, you think of more Bakersfield
area. Yeah, you think of the area now. Yeah. No, I agree. And I think with the draft stuff, yes, that this year definitely, you know, it's been lopsided in the years past too. You know, that's so when I first saw that, I initially thought, oh, this is gotta be for 2022, because that's the only thing that makes sense to me. But again, if it's me and I'm a local kid around here, it's like, nah, we, need to step our game up a little bit. I think there is something to what you said about, all these guys sticking with their schools, or you leave to make one school great. That's kind of how it kind of kills the area a little bit.
Yeah.
Just my opinion, though.
And that's all it is. It's my opinion too. So whether I'm right or wrong, oh well.
Bro, this is I hate doing it this way, but I understand.
I would be right there with you if it wasn't for
no, I know.
the head of the household that we have a 3-month-old. She doesn't want to risk anything. So
no, man. But again, congrats on the Masters. I appreciate you doing the best you can with this, doing all of that, along with coaching, new baby, also being dad to 2 other kids. We got some guests coming up. Going to be having some more fun, some people in studio. Hopefully next week things calm down. And, it was finally announced, we'll close it with this, finally announced yesterday that JD Sales is the head coach at Clovis High School.
What?
Yeah.
I had no idea. I didn't even know he went for it.
I will say, I'm kind of like, obviously didn't need to take a month when we knew, but I like the idea of announcing, right? Making it a big deal.
Yeah, but do it when you do it.
And I don't know like what other hoops he had to, or things that had to happen. Maybe that's why it took so long. But I do like the announcement and like making it a thing. I think that's cool.
Yeah,
I do appreciate that. But that type of, this goes back to that media day, right? That would be cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
But
the track should do it, man. The football should do it. Every football league should do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's really cool to see.
You hype up your
I think
players.
the baseball should do it. I think it would even be cool if, because the SEC does it. Baseball, football, all their sports.
Mountain West just had their deal in Vegas.
That's what I'm saying, dude. It's just something cool. It's good for the players. It's good for the team, and you get to bring 2 of your stud players and get them out there and let them, speak on the upcoming season too. So, yeah, I don't know. I know people probably be like, "You guys should do it. You guys should do it." Yeah, we should do everything. We know, but we got real jobs.
Yeah, no, we might be able to pull something off for baseball for sure. I don't know if I could handle doing all the sports, but there's enough podcasts out there, media, whatever going on that cover all sports that could do it. So as a collective, even if we all got involved and did something, we should. I thought it was great. I liked seeing the announcement. I liked seeing that media day. I thought that was cool for the local high school deals that do that. I don't know. Like, I bet you that stuff happens in Texas. I would imagine their football, or even in Oklahoma where you were at, it's big time there. Like, I bet you they do stuff like that. So bring it out here. I thought it was pretty cool to see the announcements, the media day. Again, congrats to JD and good luck at Clovis High. It looks like some of that staff's going to stick around. So some future looks good there with some young players. And but yeah, I just wanted to make sure it is official if anybody hadn't seen it out there on social media. But again, thank you all for listening. We'll have some more guys coming on here in the next week or two. And that is another episode of the Hit or Die podcast.
Hit or Die.